This is CampusNation.com, the sports animal, your home for high school and college sports. Today from the middle school gym, Fred Summers Court at Wilmington High School. We have the third annual Play-by-Play Classic. We have done all three, and just want to give you an idea of the teams that we're talking about. The first game that gets underway will be East Clinton against Ponitz, and the second game will be Wayne against Cleveland Heights. The third game will be the nightcap. That will be Archbishop Alter and Wilmington High School. And for the first game, we have been delayed because Ponitz actually thought they were going to East Clinton High School. So they made the trek out there, then found out they had to come to Wilmington High School. So they are here now, and we will be getting started here in about 23 minutes. And that's the reason for the delay along the network. I've got Jeff Craycraft here. He's going to do our play-by-play. I'll add some color and take care of the camera work. We expect another good turnout. We've had thousands view this classic in the past 2 years, and we would expect that will be the same way. We've got a great lineup of high school basketball teams. And Jeff, you've been here for other classics, right?
Yeah. There's always some really, really good teams that come in here, and Moeller, of all the teams that come here, Division I, number one in the state. And
16-0, yeah. That's going to be a tough cookie for Wilmington.
Yeah.
Especially after that heartbreaker last night at East Clinton and the Astros pulling off. I would have to say it was considered an upset, but they wouldn't say that. They were only 2-9 at the time, but Wilmington hasn't had the most phenomenal year this year. Obviously, without the loss of the Cumberlands, they're not the team that they were, a year ago or 2 years ago.
That's true. They're a different type of team. They're not a high-scoring team. They do a lot of pressure, and last night, the difference in that game between East Clinton and Wilmington was that East Clinton was able to handle the pressure. The first game that they played this year, they just threw the ball away like it was a hangry day, and last night they took care of the ball, and they were able to finish. And the fourth quarter, they just basically dominated it. They was able to get some key rebounds, get things kicked around, and broke Wilmington down off the dribble, and ended up, any time a smaller school like East Clinton is playing a bigger school. I can remember back in my day, we had the opportunity, we would maybe play, I went to Jamestown, Greenview, and you get to play Xenia. And you're going to take that opportunity to play at the highest level that you can play because it's big if you can beat them. And last night, you got East Clinton Division III and Wilmington Division I. They're basically in each other's backyard.
Right, we're neighbors.
You have Tony Berlin, who's the head coach of East Clinton, who was on the staff for probably close to 20 years at Wilmington before he took the head coaching position.
Exactly.
And, Mike Noska has, did an incredible job here at Wilmington since he came here. I think it's probably been 10, 11 years. And now you get one of his, disciples, and then with Tony's, own IQ of basketball, he knows the Wilmington system. So now, he understands where the traps are coming from, and he understands, what kind of offense they're going to try to run, and it's a big advantage. And it was a good win, and those are the type of wins that you won at the end of the season that shows you that your program's improving and that you can compete going into the tournament.
Right. Yeah, it's all about that tournament at the end of the season, and obviously that was what we would call a quality win for East Clinton.
Oh, yeah. That's going to look big when they post that up here on the board, that you got to win against a Division I as a D3, and then they're going to say, well, who did you beat? And everybody knows that Wilmington made it to the state semifinals last year.
Right.
No, it's not the same team,
But it still has a reputation that precedes it, and obviously, the fact that Wilmington did end up in the Final Four last year, and they are Division I versus Division III, that does make an absolute difference.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it might get you a little, better seeding, which is ideal going into the tournament. You want the best seed you possibly can have.
It's funny when you're going into the seeding, everybody, teams like East Clinton or other local teams, you're just trying to maybe figure out where I can get a win. in a sectional tournament.
Right. Some teams actually go out of it. I mean, I know there are some opportunities. I don't know if that's the case in the Cincinnati area, but I know that some teams in Dayton would opt to go to Columbus rather than actually face something in Dayton.
Yeah. And the other thing is the easiest way to get to the state is to be in the Southeastern District. And because you don't really have to face anybody through the sectionals and probably the district. In that first game in the regionals, then you're going to start facing the Columbus regional teams and stuff. So it gets a little tougher because there's not that many Division I and II and teams in that Southeastern District.
Right,
so
right.
it's an interesting time of the year. I have an opportunity to help out with the East Clinton girls, and we're going to have the opportunity to go our drawing next Saturday. So when you're our program, you're looking to maybe see if you can get one win, because then that gives you something to build on.
Right.
Other teams like Wilmington or Moeller's looking like down here at the regional, like we don't really want to face this team, so they work their way back through the bracket to see how they stay away from that team.
Right.
So there's a big difference when the draw comes. I coached Division I baseball here at Wilmington for 9 years, and I'd be looking at seeing where I could try to get a few wins and get to maybe a sectional final, and we was lucky a couple times to get to the sectional final. But you're competing against Lakota East, West, Hamilton, Lebanon, and all those really good baseball programs, and you exhaust yourself. But those teams are looking at, okay, when I win the sectional, I'm going to play. They're trying to stay away from Moeller.
Right.
Because Moeller is really good in baseball as well. But it's an interesting time. It's an exciting time of the year. Now you will not find me. I will be, if I'm not coaching at East Clinton, I will be attending some game, whether it's high school boys or girls. To me, it's the best time of the year.
It is the best time of the year, and of course you got all the high school action, you got the college action. You're going to have college tournaments in March. So this time of the year is probably the best sports time of the year of any of the sports times, right?
The only thing I know about the month of March is that the word madness goes with it.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
But these classics, we had the opportunity to go down to Hillsborough. You're getting to see, you're showcasing, some individuals, you're showcasing teams, and it gives you time to, if you're a college coach, you can come in here tonight. You're going to get to see Cleveland Heights and Dayton Wayne in the second game. Great athletes, and some really, really good ball players. And then in the nightcap, you get to see Moeller and Wilmington. And, Wilmington's led by Bogard and Mansfield and Woolery. And those three, as they go, so goes Wilmington. But there's, you asked about Wilmington. There's always going to be one trait about Wilmington. They will be tough and they will play hard and they will play defense.
Right.
So, those qualities right there permits them to compete with anybody. And the other thing that Coach Noska does really well is preparation. He's probably seen enough film on Moeller that he can run everything Moeller is going to throw at him tonight, and he's conveyed that to his kids in practices. He's had a tough week. You had the opportunity to play. Miami Trace,
Lakota East.
Yeah.
Before that, Wilmington hasn't had. Unfortunately, Wilmington, with all its success that it's had in the past few years, they're still facing the teams, the quality teams that they have faced in past years, and they don't have quite the same basketball team playing these teams. So when you look at the Lakota East team, or you look at a team like Moeller, or obviously Mason always has a good program as far as basketball. You look at these other teams, and in past years where you've had the quality because you've had the Cumberlands and you've had that dynamic that's different from this year, you've been a lot more competitive. So you're suffering this year because you don't have that same dynamic going on in the team. And I think that, the scheduling, you still want to see these quality teams come in and play your program, because if you lose those, then when you start competing again, when you rebuild, when you start, getting competitive again at that level, they don't want to play you, or they're not going to play you because they're going somewhere else to be able to keep that level up for the tournaments. I mean, because everybody plays for the tournaments. They play for the seedings. They play for the rankings as far as the state.
Yeah, that's what it's all about, and and it's going to be an exciting last few weeks of the SCOL. East Clinton, with that win over Wilmington, gave Miami Trace a 2-game lead over them, and then they
Chillicothe's right behind them.
Chillicothe's got a
and Wilmington still has to play, Chillicothe here at home.
Right.
And they've got to play the Blue Lions, and they can always be a factor as well. Every team in the SCOL, to put it bluntly, they've been tired of being beat up by Wilmington. And the same way with Massey in football. And so when they smell a little blood in the water, obviously they get up even more for those types of games. And now that Wilmington has shown that it can be beaten, they start looking at that, and it gives them even more motivation and the thought, I can beat this team.
Right.
Whereas before they come in here and they've lost, half their will just coming in and facing a hurricane.
But Cleveland Heights is just walking in, and I think they have one of their kids has signed with Ohio State as far as the football. So
one of their basketball players.
Yeah. So and then Dayton Wayne, who's just a factory of athletics.
Oh yeah, they've got great football. They've got great basketball. That Ponitz kid, I don't know whether see that big kid there. He is a man. He's not even a boy. He looks like he's got a lot of presence out there.
And we haven't had really a chance to sit down and talk to the head coach, but I think as Steve Pittman, played at UD.
You think that's the Pittman?
Because he walked in and he had a UD jacket on, and Steve Pittman was a pretty sound ball player for UD Flyers.
Well, Ponitz comes into this game 11-5. They're going to be the home team. I asked Troy Deals, I said, why would East Clinton be the away team? Typically, we like to give our area teams the home cooking, but I think Troy, he just said, I think that after the win last night against Wilmington, they decided that they would wear their away jerseys tonight and for good luck. So maybe that'll help them. East Clinton comes in 3-9 with that win over Wilmington last night, but they're on a high, and we'll see if that can carry over to this first game tonight.
And Coach Berlin, he's had a pretty tough week. His mother passed away earlier this week, and Betty, her and Bob attended about every game that you can think of. I had an opportunity to be my daughter Caitlin and Jordan was in the same class. They graduated here from Wilmington in 2010, and I believe that Bob and Betty Berlin was at every girls, boys game, and then Jordan played baseball one year, and they were just, Bob and I spoke last night, how many games did him and Betty go to? They've been married 2 years, he told me.
Right.
I know the visitation's tomorrow, but our heartfelt sympathy out to the Berlin family and Tony. Tony's a tough man, He's doing. And you think about Tony. He battled cancer last year and whipped it.
He's a fighter. There's no question about that.
And then that was in his first year, and he's got his assistant coach is probably one of his best friends in Roger Early, and he ran most of the program last year as Tony was trying to recover from that, and then to be hit with the loss of your mother. I don't care. It's just tough. Because moms are always there for you. Not saying anything against dads, but moms are there.
There's a sort of a different relationship, obviously, with your mom than.
And I've known Bob and Betty since I was 10 years old. So, we go way back, and Bob and I worked together at Cincinnati Millicron. So we've been good friends with Bob and Betty, and So, but it should be a good game tonight. I asked Tony. I said, "Can you do 2 nights in a row?" And he says, "Oh, I hope so." He says, our kids played hard last night. They did all the small things. They did all the box outs. They did all the bounce passes against the press. They stepped to the ball every time. And then when they had opportunities to attack, they attacked. I thought there was a couple times probably there in the last few minutes. And, there's always one of those moments, Rick, when you're coaching, you're going, no, 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 no. And then it goes in. You go, great job. Get back on defense.
Exactly.
And I think he had
don't shoot it. Don't. Yeah. Oh, great shot.
He had a few moments like that last night. Like, the Jenkins boy hit a huge 3, and it was almost like a dagger 3, but it was one of those shots when you were up, like, 4 points, and you're going like, we really just wanted to have the ball, and we want to run that clock down, and it's one of those shots that goes off, and you go, no, 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 great shot, get back, play D, and it ends up, being they ended up, Wilmington had to rush some shots there at the end, so the true score, I think it showed, a 12, 13-point differential. Yeah. I think it was 54-41, but that was not...
Yeah, because you end up with foul shooting at the very end, and with the clock stopped, but still it was a win, and they deserved the win. There wasn't anything hokey about it. There was the officiating was good. There's nothing you can look to other than the Wilmington Hurricane just got beat by the East Clinton Astros. And for those of us that follow sports and that we do these broadcasts, you like to see good basketball, and if the playing field is fair and level, which it was last night, hey, whoever wins, you give them the congrats, and it's especially good when it's a neighbor.
Did you keep Joe under control? The big alumni out there had to be a little excited.
Yeah, Joe was, and of course, we're sitting on the East Clinton side, so we've got Tony's wife behind us, and we've got Teresa Early behind us, and we've got the Early clan behind us, and sitting beside me, and of course, they're all excited, and most of them are all Wilmington people, Wilmington cheerleaders, they're all from Wilmington, but they are just going ecstatic over the fact that East Clinton is pulling off that win, and so I was happy. And we're always treated so well. Jim, their athletic director, is always making every available opportunity for us to do sports out there, and we've always been treated. Sometimes, obviously, Wilmington, they don't like seeing us come in, especially in the last few years, but they've always been gracious to us, and we certainly appreciate it.
I hear that stuff all the time, Wilmington this, Wilmington that, or Clinton Massey this, or Clinton Massey that. Sometimes you just got to look yourself in the mirror and you say, we need to get better. And, I've heard, to me, it's all crybaby stuff, and you just need to get better. Yes, every now and then you're blessed with a couple of Cumberland boys that were above average and that played hard and have the opportunity to go to Division I. But that's just a small segment. Wilmington was only in the SUL, I think, since 2014.
Right, yeah.
And to get it in such an uproar, those go back to years ago, 20, 25, 30 years ago when the SUO was rocking and rolling. And, no one said anything. I said, no one said anything about Washington Courthouse when they won the state championship there in the decade, in the 2000s.
Right.
Miami Trace girls basketball has had a great, run there.
Fantastic year this year, too.
And East, Trace is just, they've had some domination. I remember one time when I was calling games on radio, I think it was 17 years that Miami Trace beat Wilmington in football in a row. 17 years. I didn't hear anybody from, saying, well, I want to jump out of the league or I want to do this or that. We took our lumps and,
That's right. That's part of the sport.
Yeah,
And you're right.
It's cycles.
You have to do what you have to do to get better, and it's, the onus is on the coaching staff and the athletic department of those schools, to step up and to do what they have to do.
The most important thing you can do as a coach is work on player development in the off season. That's all it is. It's about player development. And whether it be football, be basketball, or baseball, that's your job as a head coach to work on player development. Yeah. But no, I'm just excited to be here tonight, and there's going to be 3 games, and I hope
6
they're quality
teams. Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope they can live up to the billing. Pointz is a very athletic team. They're very pressing, and they're going to be all over the place, going 90 miles an hour. And East Clinton's going to have to be very patient with the ball and take care of it and finish what they can. If not, set up their offense. Defensively, they're going to probably stay inside the 3-point line, and they're going to play the gap type defense and try to take away all driving, and they're going to have to box out. Last night it was pretty effective. Tonight, it's got to be just as effective as it was last night tonight. And if they do all those little things, then they can compete tonight.
Well, and I think that last night's win against the Hurricane obviously have given them that additional boost of confidence that, hey, I can beat anybody.
See, a lot of coaches don't like Friday, Saturday games. If you go around here and go around up and talk to these old timers, they don't like Friday, Saturday games because that means you're preparing for 2 opponents that week in practice. They like to have it like a Friday, Tuesday, Friday. Always have 2 or 3 days to prepare for one team. Back when I played, and Tony Berlin and all these guys played, we was used to playing Friday, Saturday night. We probably would have been, we would have been more blessed to have some games during the week, because coaches can think of all kinds of ruthless things to do when you have a whole week. But no, you have to prepare for 2 teams, and when you got a Friday, Saturday. So that week of that preparation, you're not telling your team that. You're saying, we're getting ready for Wilmington. But, in your mind, the drills that you're doing that week, you're getting prepared for both teams.
Well, we've got about a minute and a half to go before we start this first game of 3. And got our starters?
Yeah.
The officials for tonight's game are Jim Watkins, Scott Wyckoff, and Chris Holland. These individuals are registered by the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Their integrity and experience qualify them to administer rules of the game. An attitude of good sportsmanship should be upheld by all spectators, players, and coaches during tonight's game. Before we get started, I'd like to please rise, remove any hats as we pause to honor America with our national anthem.
All right, we're going to get ready for this first game. The Ponitz Golden Panthers against the East Clinton Astros, live on campusnation.com. Your home for high school and college sports, the sports animal.
Ponitz Career Technology Center will be the home team. Cheerleaders for East Clinton are Maddie Crow,
Boy, this floor is really nice.
Isn't it?
I know they redid it over the summer. And
they kind of went the route of Greenfield McLean and lightened the color. It's just a beautiful, beautiful color, and this huge Hurricane logo to match the logo that's on the scoreboard. Incredible.
Introducing the starting lineups right now for the East Clinton Astros, who will be the guest team on the scoreboard tonight. Will be Brendan Jenkins, a junior at one guard, and then J.T. McCarron, who had a big game last night against Wilmington, scoring 22, will be in the forward center spot. Cameron Connor fouled out. I thought that might be a turning point last night, but he did a whale of a job defensive and did a great job rotating. At the shooting guards, Wyatt Floyd, number 20. He's a junior, and then Jacob Olds, forward, and he's a junior, and the East Clinton Astros are in their red uniforms with gray lettering outlined in black, and then Dayton Ponitz, which will be the home team on the scoreboard tonight. Edgar Cook, number 2, he's a senior. He's a guard forward, and he'll be joined by Malik Pooler, number 4, and Jalen Garrett, number 5. And then Eric Seeley, number 11, is a junior. And then completing the lineup is Floyd Scott, number 15, another senior. So 4 seniors starting. So very experienced team for Dayton Ponitz. And so the Astros will be going from right to left, and Ponitz to left to right, and we're getting ready to start the first game of 3 tonight here on Campus Nation. You're listening to Rick Phillips and Jeff Craycraft, and we'll try to give you some coverage and give you the best we can with about both of these teams, and hopefully East Clinton can pull out another win tonight.
That's right, go Astros.
Ponitz looks like a team of maybe 3-4 guys around 6'2", 6'3" range, and then 2 5'10" guards. Ball's going to be going up here shortly, and you're listening to the Campus Nation. Tips controlled by Ponitz. Over on the left, back inside to Cook. Shots up, no good. Rebound down to Scott, and shots up and no good.
Got a foul?
Have a foul. Cameron Connor with his first foul tonight, and he's a big part of this team. He helps break the press. He's a very strong kid, very knowledgeable, and moves the ball well. First shot's up, and it's off. Shooting the first one was Floyd Scott. Second one's up, and it's good. Ponitz with a 1-0 lead here at the 7:52 mark. Full court press being applied. Steal. Back to Cook. Cook shots up, and no good. Rebound down to Floyd. Floyd bringing the ball up. The ball's in between the circles. Hands it off to Cameron Connor. Ponitz is man-to-man. Connor gets over to Jenkins on the right wing, looking inside to Connor. Connor shots up. And good!
That was nice.
So Ponitz with the ball out on the right wing. Out on top. Swings it across to Seeley. Seeley kicking it. More of a shots up and nice. Good there by Pooler. Ponitz jumps back up on the lead 3-2. Cameron Connor trying to get the ball in, being pressured, and a steal there by Ponitz, and they bring it back out. Garrett with a steal. Now he penetrates, kicks over for a three, and it's no good. Rebound there by Pooler, and it's taken away by Cameron. Here's Floyd with the ball. Hesitation, taking the ball to the hoop. Off glass and good.
Very nice.
So Wyatt Floyd with his first basket tonight. Fuller with the ball. Looking underneath. Shot blocked there by Olds. Recovered by Cook. Off glass and good. So Cooks has another hoop. Here's Floyd. Gets it behind the press and taking it to the rack. Shots up. No good. Fought for McCarron with the ball. Takes it up off the glass. No good. Olds fighting for the rebound, and I think he's going to be called for over the back. So that's his first foul of the night. Coaching Pointz is Steve Pittman, and if you're a UD Flyer fan, you'll probably remember that name. So they're going into round one. Ponitz swinging the ball around. Here's a long three. Swish.
Oh, got it.
By Pooler. Connor trying to get the ball in. Steal. Shots up and off glass and good by Garrett. And Tony Berlin's going to get a foul here as Ponitz has jumped out 11-4 here at the 5:46 mark of the first quarter. So East Clinton struggling against the pressure being applied by Ponitz tonight. Point.
They are definitely a fast team.
Yes. And quick.
And this same team will be facing Wilmington in February. So they were supposed to play them earlier in the year up at Lima Senior, and it was postponed. There was weather that was bad. That was about the time that we did the Clinton Massey game. And anyway, so it was postponed, and it was rescheduled towards the end of our games in February. I think it's the 14th, maybe Valentine's Day.
Well, that'd be a nice team to have a little tune-up going into the tournament with.
They'll tune you up, that's for sure.
Yeah. Where they're coming out, and then they shift out of the man-to-man pressure into more of a zone. Floyd with the ball going up the right sideline, kicks it back over to East Clinton, gives up a ball, and Seeley takes it in to the rack and scores another bucket.
And he's fouled.
Matt Mitchell checked in at the timeout for East Clinton with the turnover there that turned into another 2-point basket. Shots up and no good, and the rebound
another foul
on Scott. Scott is just he goes after every offensive rebound.
So he's going to be shooting two.
So he'll be shooting two, and the first one's up, and it's good. So Floyd Scott, a senior forward, who's very aggressive on the boards. Got the offensive rebound, got fouled on the shot, and the second free throw's up and good. So back to man-to-man pressure.
14-4.
Mitchell with the ball, gets it into East Clinton gets across half court. Floyd with the drive, knocked away. JT McCarron helping him against the press break there. So East Clinton with the ball on the sideline. Illegal screen set there by Matt Mitchell. And it's 14-4 here, 5:24 to go in the first quarter of action. East Clinton needs to really just get settled down.
Yeah, they're settled is the word, right.
Cameron Connors checking back in. And also Pence is in for East Clinton. So Cooks brings the ball up, point guard. Got the ball centered, hands off to Garrett. Garrett with a long three. Long rebound. Comes down to Sealy, and it's stolen away by East Clinton. Connor with the ball, being guarded there by Scott on the right side. The Jenkins catches the ball on the right wing, looking for cutters. Pointz swings it over to Floyd on the outside of the left wing. Floyd trying to penetrate, cut off, kicks it back out to McCarron. McCarron pulls up the dribble. Floyd with a long three off the. Jenkins gets the rebound. Connor with the ball, swings it over, and it's stolen away by Ponitz. And there, Cooks drives the ball to the hoop. Short. Floyd with the rebound. Floyd looking down the court, gets across midcourt, penetrating. Gets it off to McCarron. McCarron's shot blocked away there by Scott of Ponitz, and it's going to be called for a foul as well.
That's actually their first foul. East Clinton with 5 and Ponitz with 1 now.
So JT McCarron going to the line. East Clinton down 14-4, 4:27 to go here in the first period. First shot's up and good.
Yeah, they got it. They gave okay, they've adjusted it. It's 14-5 now.
Yeah, there for a minute they got messed up down here, but it's 14-6 now. Looking inside and got the ball in the right corner. Pulls up for a jumper. Scott, and increases the lead to 16-6. Floyd gets the ball, right wing, brings it back in the middle. Stolen away. Here's a shot up, and good. Wow. More of a circus shot there by Poor. Another steal there by Ponitz. They're taking it to the hoop. Jump stop, shots up, no good. And they're going to call a foul there on Sealy. Going over the back. So 3:54 to go and 18-6 in favor of Dayton. They may have came late, but they're playing pretty good when they got here.
Yeah, Astros sort of in shock right now. They're not used to this kind of speed.
Demonte Bailey, the big kid that you referred to, is a sophomore. And here goes a long one down to McCarron, or to Floyd, up off glass, and good.
That's what they need to do more of.
Nice toss there by Connor, hitting Floyd in full stride for a nice layup there. 18-8. Fuller out on the right wing, swings it, and they're either cutting, pass and cut, and try to seal you off. They're all about the same size, so it doesn't really matter, if you switch or not.
Right. They're all tall. That's what you mean, right?
Yeah. Ball's into Cooks, tries to penetrate, cut off there by McCarron. Inside. Here's almost a turnover. Jenkins knocked it away temporarily. Here's a pass over on the right wing. Ford penetrates up, short. Rebound, fought for. Dayton Ponitz with the ball. He's not even looking to score.
They've got to have incredible amounts of offensive rebounds here.
Yes. And they're East Clinton trying to stay inside the three-point because this team is very quick. Get to the hoop real well. Nice crossover there by Scott, and he swings it back over on the left side. Garrett trying to steal the ball. Here's a long jumper, no good.
Foul.
They're going to call a foul there on Scott. Scott and Floyd got tied up, and ends up the foul goes against Scott. And that's his second foul. He has 5 points, and he's going to be checking out.
So the Astros are going to have the ball.
Eric Sealy's going to check in. Matt Mitchell will be inbounding it. Looking, and finally gets it into Pointz. Pointz catches it, chins it. Floyd being trapped.
A lot of pressure.
McCarron gets the ball across half court. Looking for Mitchell. Mitchell with the ball, swings it over to Jenkins in the left wing. Jenkins looking for cutters and dribbles it towards the middle. Hands it off to Floyd in between the circles. Floyd pulls up, loses the ball. There had to be a foul there.
Right.
2 bodies fly. Something has to be called, whether offensive or defensive. So East Clinton will be getting the ball on the sideline just in front of us, looking for Jenkins. Jenkins catches the ball, stolen away there by Puller. Puller penetrates up off glass and good. Jenkins takes the ball out, gives it to Floyd. Floyd trying to get the ball down the floor. Gets across midcourt, pulls it up around the right wing. Being pressured there. Great defense being applied by Ponitz. There's a long three by Floyd. No good. Rebound down to Garrett. Garrett pushes across between the circles, pulls it back out. Jenkins on him. 20-8 here in the first quarter of action. 1:50 to go. Ball out on top to Puller, being guarded there by Floyd. Swings it across to Garrett. Taking some time off the clock. And McCarron is just getting up in him as well as Jenkins. So East Clinton trying to take away the drives. And here's the shots up and no good.
Foul.
It's going to be a foul there on Pointz with a push to get the rebound. Think about it, when you're trying to rebound against quicker people, you got to hit them and go get the ball. You can't, because you just can't. It's hard to hold them forever.
East Clinton with 7 fouls now, so Ponitz will be in the 1-and-1. They're shooting 2, I think, on this one anyway.
Eric Seeley at the line for Dayton. Shots up and good. Increasing the lead to 21-8 here to 127 mark. New check-in here is Kendall Simmons. He's a senior guard. So Steve Pittman, the coach, is freely subbing here in the first quarter of action. Second shot's up and bounces around the rim and uses about 180 degrees of that rim.
Got every bit of the rim, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. So Matt Mitchell tried to get it in. Finally gets it into Jenkins. Boy, he is going to be trapped. Tries to get Floyd. Floyd tried to get control of the ball. Ponitz he was another steal. Penetrates, kicks to the big kid. Here's a left-hander for a long three. Hits nothing but the left side of the backboard. Rebound up by Ponitz. Seeley, and it's good. Floyd getting the ball in quick to JT McCarron. McCarron going in. And gets fouled. No foul called on the play.
Astro fans are not happy.
Saying it's a block by Bailey. Bailey looks to be around 6'7". Big sophomore. Floyd gets it into Pence. Pence takes it out. Now we're going to have a makeup call. And
exactly.
Foul.
Yep, that was the makeup.
24-8, 1 minute to go here. Pence at the free throw line for the Astros. Pounds it a couple times, sights it, shoots it, and the first one is good. And Tony right now is talking to the team about let's just get a stop. Second shot up, no good. Bailey down with the rebound, and after they've got this big lead, they're going to do some dribble weave, trying to penetrate, and pressure being applied by East Clinton. Over in the left corner is Seeley, then he hands it off to shots up, but no good. There by Puller. Here's Floyd with the ball between the circle, trying to penetrate. Throws up a running one-hander, and it's no good. Here's Ponitz with the ball. Cooks pulls it back out. Looking, swings it across. Reverses the ball back up on top. So we're inside 16 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Ponitz up 24-9.
Going for the last shot, I would imagine.
Yes, they are. And they have some guys that can break you down off the dribble. McCarron being guarding Cooks. Back cut. Knocked away by Floyd, but goes right back to Ponitz. And
that's not good.
The bucket is good at the buzzer.
That?
Yes.
Well.
We may have to have a replay.
Yeah.
So we've reached the first quarter of action here between Dayton Ponitz and the East Clinton Astros. And Dayton up 26-9. you got to find some way to combat the quickness of the driving ability, but more importantly, you got to box out.
That's right, and you wouldn't get all those offensive rebounds. But if you don't box out, they're just putting them back up. And the other thing, the glaring thing, is all of the steals they've been managing because of their speed. You gotta handle the ball better.
Yeah,
if you make any kind of miscue, they're going to take advantage of it. And their points off of turnovers, I imagine, is pretty high right now at this point.
So I think East Clinton will be starting out with the ball here in the second quarter of action. And another interesting note is that Dayton Ponitz has 17 fouls, and East Clinton, no.
East Clinton's the
East Clinton has 17 fouls.
Yeah, it's 1-1 for Ponitz.
Yeah, I hate calling games.
You would, right? I know what you're going to say. At least we know
no one really cares what I think. But Jenkins with the ball out in top left.
I care, Jeff.
Ball down to McCarron in the right corner. He dribbles it out. Looking. Pence with the ball. Being guarded there by Bailey. Switches over to Mitchell. Mitchell being double teamed. I tell you, Ponitz doing a great job of defense. Here's a steal by Dayton Ponitz, and he's going to take it to the lane, and he is fouled on the play. Garrett with the steal was going all the way to the hole. He looks to be like a 5'7" or 5'11" senior, and very long. 7:25 to go. First free throws up around the rim, and no good. 26-9, 7:25, first quarter of action. You're listening to first round action here on the Campus Nation. Second shot's up, no good. Pence doesn't get a block out. Here's a Jenkins, gets a steal, gives it back to Pence, hands it off to Floyd. Floyd goes across half court behind the back. Left-hand dribble. Swings it to Jenkins. Jenkins looking inside. To Pence, he loses the ball. Garrett brings it down. Off glass, no good. Rebound up by Mitchell. Here comes Floyd pushing down the middle of the court. Shots up.
Block.
I think he's going to call a charge there on Wyatt Floyd.
Well, that's a charge.
Who'd they call it?
McCarron?
They called it on McCarron.
He didn't have the ball, did he?
Get in the game, buddy. You make one call and you don't even know who it was on. You're terrible.
Yeah, that was kind of strange. McCarron didn't have the ball. How do you... Well, I guess...
Unless he was trying to seal someone off so they couldn't get to the ball.
Yeah. Strange.
Garrett with the ball, swings it in the right corner, swings it back out on top. Garrett with the ball back over in the right corner. Bailey penetrating across the right baseline. It's cut off. Kicks it back out of the right wing to Garrett. Fuller with the ball, penetrates, under, scoop shot, no good. Another rebound by Mitchell. Mitchell being pressured by two guys from Ponitz, gets it off to Floyd out of the double team. Here's over to Olds. Here's a long three by Jenkins. McCarron comes in front. Nice rebound by McCarron and a stick back, making it 26-11. Ball is on the right side, digging it down to Bailey. Shot fake, shots up, no good. Gets his own rebound, sticks it back up and in.
Yep, there's those offensive rebounds.
So pressure being applied by Puller. Floyd triple team, gets it off to Mitchell. Mitchell down to Olds. Olds trying to penetrate, cut off. Jenkins swings it around. Mitchell for a long three, and counted.
Need more of that.
Matt Mitchell is a freshman for East Clinton. And he can shoot the three, and he's a good free throw shooter. And him and his brother were big factors last night on the win against Wilmington. Ball's out on top. Garrett penetrates, dribbles it back out, kicks it out to Bailey at the top of the key. Timeout here at 5:10. 28-14 in favor of Dayton Ponitz. They came into this game with 11-5 record, and nicknamed the Golden Panthers. And
They've been golden so far.
Yeah, and East Clinton makes a little run, and their coach calls a timeout. It just, McCarron goes in and flies in and gets a nice rebound. But he needs to do it like every time. He needs to go to the hoop. The first wall of pressure is where East Clinton's had problems. They haven't had problems in the second and the third section. It's that first section of press that they really have had
getting the
problems.
ball inbounded has been the big problem. Ponitz with the ball.
So Cook's with the ball. Been guarded there by McCarron. Cuts to the middle, doing a little open post now, coming out of the timeout. Pass, cut, nice job of defense there by East Clinton. Bailey thought about it, looks inside. Olds and Sealy got tied up. Jump ball still goes to Dayton here underneath their own basket. 4:48, 28-14. Bailey trying to get the ball in. No, good job of denying. They got the ball back over to Cooks. Cooks penetrates down the middle, kicks over on the left corner, shots up, no good. Rebound there.
Put back.
Scott just checked back in with 2 fouls and
boxing out is what we were talking about, Jeff. They're just not boxing out.
And we can sit over here and talk about that, but when you're very quick and athletic, sometimes it's hard to get a body on them. Just got to close harder and not hold as long. East Clinton running their screener cutter right now. Olds is definitely one of the screeners out there. He's bumped out everybody at least twice.
Tony Berlin telling them to stay out of the corners so they don't get trapped.
And here comes the old Floyd, gets it into Jenkins, top of the key, swings it over to Mitchell. Looking for Floyd. Nice move there by Floyd. Hands it off to McCarron. Shots blocked, but it's going to be the number 3 foul on Floyd Scott. Floyd Scott with 7 points, but more importantly, he has 3 fouls.
That's the Golden Panthers' 6th foul to East Clinton's 9.
So McCarron's first shot's up and good here at the 4:01 mark, and checking out is Mr. Scott, who's been a handful when he's been in here. Leading the way for Dayton Pointz is Malik Puller, sophomore guard. Second shot's up and good. We have a 14-point game here, 30-16, 4:01 to go. Cooks gets it over to Scott, or to Garrett. Here's a penetrating move. Shots up and good there by Puller. Pretty nice looking sophomore. Mitchell underneath the basket gets it into Floyd in the middle of the court. He's going and it acts like he's going to pass. He doesn't. Running one-handed, no good. Rebound down. Cooks gets the ball out of traffic. Nice crossover here in front of us. Swings it across to Garrett. Garrett penetrates, looks inside for the big boy, and there's going to be a foul before the shot. And it's still going to be 1-1.
Well, no, actually, that's the 10th foul, so it's going to be double bonus.
Double bonus now for the remaining 3:27.
Right. The next foul on Dayton Ponitz will result in a 1-1 for East Clinton. But right now, they're shooting the double.
And he sights it and nails the first one. Checking in is Pointz for Olds. 3:27 to go. Garrett will be putting up his second free throw. It's up, and it's good as well. 34-16. Mitchell trying to inbound the ball. Steal. Shots up and good there by Eric Sealy. Floyd
Got a timeout.
And we have a 30-second timeout called by Tony Berlin of the East Clinton Astros. 36-16. Just having a lot of the pressure initially. If they can just get it to the second phase, they'd be fine, but that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I can't count enough just how many points that the Golden Panthers have just trying to get the ball in East Clinton, trying to get it in, and then stealing it and putting it up for an easy basket. You're listening to CampusNation.com, the sports animal, your home for high school and college sports.
Here's another steal. Pointz with the ball. Shots up, no good. Gets his own rebound. Eric Seeley. Mitchell with the ball, being pressured. Gets the ball in the middle. McCarron knocked away. Here's Cooks. Pulls up his dribble, kicks it back out to Garrett. Garrett's misses a shot. Floyd with the rebound, pushing it down the middle. Shots up and good. 2:44. And Cooks dribbles the ball off of his foot. And it's going to go back to East Clinton.
So right now, 20-point lead.
So Floyd gets it inbounded there from Jenkins. Kicks it back out to JT for a long three. No good. Rebound down to Bailey, the big sophomore. Looks to be about 6'7". Kicks over to Cook. Cook's down in the corner. Inside pass to number 11, Eric Seeley, and another basket. So Seeley's starting to light it up with 12 points now. 40-18. Floyd going against Bailey. Shots up off glass. No good. Here's the ball being pushed down there by Garrett. Swings it over to Cooks for the shot. Bailey gets a rebound and sticks it back in. 42-18. And McCarron with the ball gets it knocked away. He's going to be a called foul there on Pooler.
So 1-1.
So Cameron Connor will be checking back in for Pointz.
It's very difficult to describe until people actually see the video just how fast this team is, what hands they've got.
Bailey with the rebound.
First into the one-on-one miss, so Golden Panthers with the ball.
Yep. So the Golden Panthers have the ball just across the midcourt line here in the middle. Cook with the ball, 1:38 to go. Here's a steal by Jenkins. Going from line to lane, shots up and good, and he's fouled on the play as well.
There's a shot in the arm.
So the basket is good there by Jenkins. And it's 42-20. And Zach Mitchell will be checking in as well. For East Clinton. Boy, he had some big rebounds and a big shot last night, and that went over Wilmington. Seeing his first action. So Cooks with the ball, 1:30 to go.
Missed the free throw.
Yeah, free throws being big right now as far as on this side of them.
Get right.
So Cooks with the ball, pulls it out. McCarron applying pressure to him. Kicks it back out on top of the key to Simmons.
Travel?
And we're going to have a traveling call against Eric Seeley there.
Yep.
Checking back in is Floyd.
Too much zig with the zag there.
Floyd checking back in for Zach Mitchell. Mitchell has, Wyatt has 2 fouls, and Tony's trying to protect him on the defensive end. Here's Jenkins with the ball, left-hand dribble across midcourt, hands off to Mitchell, over to Floyd. Floyd with the ball inside the 1 minute mark here in the first half of action. Floyd thinking about a shot, pulls it back out. McCarron trying to penetrate. He does, takes a shot up, off the front of the rim, rolls off the backside. So with 42 seconds, Ponitz with the ball, 42-20.
Think they'll hold?
Unless it's a great shot. Here's Cooks with the ball. He's going to penetrate. And it's going to be off of him, and it looks like it's going to be Astro ball with 27 seconds to go.
Well, plenty of time to bring it back up and score.
So Mitchell trying to get open. Finally, Cameron Connor gets open, has the ball. Going to go across midcourt, gets it down to the right wing, left-hand dribble. The inside 19 seconds. Here's Floyd. He's being double-teamed over there, dribbles it out, hands it off to Mitchell, hands it back off to Floyd. 10 seconds to go. 42-20. Floyd penetrates up off glass, and good.
Pretty shot.
So 2 seconds, 1 second. Shot from half court is no good. 42-22 in front of Dayton Pointz here at the end of the first half.
So Golden Panthers with a 20-point lead at the half. You're listening to CampusNation.com, the sports animal, your home for high school and college sports. We are here for the third annual Play-by-Play Classic right here from Wilmington, Ohio. Jeff Craycraft and yours truly, Rick Phillips, with all the action. We're going to take a little break here. We'll be back shortly and bring you maybe some interesting information, if Jeff has some, and see if we can get this next half underway.
Hi, David.
Yeah, you could probably just go behind him. Here, there he is.
We're live from Wilmington High School for the third annual Play-by-Play Classic. Game number 2 of our 3 games tonight. The Wayne Warriors will be playing the Cleveland Heights Tigers. Now, the approximate tip-off was slated at 6:30, but I think because of the delay in our first game, they probably won't get underway until about 6:45. And then our last game, the nightcap, the Wilmington Hurricane against the Archbishop Moeller Crusaders, that was slated to tip off at 8:15, so figure about 8:30. But, of course, we'll have all the action of all 3 games right here on Campus Nation. And right now at the half, the Ponitz Golden Panthers lead the East Clinton Astros 42-22. Jeff, it's been a game of speed and, relentless pursuit by these Golden Panthers against the Astros, who had a great win last night against Wilmington, but they're sort of looking shell-shocked with this Golden Panthers team.
Well, there's a difference. Wilmington was letting them get in the ball, then they applied the pressure. The difference tonight is Ponitz is denying them the ball. So you really have to work, and then you get that pressure, then you get a secondary pressure with a trap, and then they're jumping into the next passing lanes, so that's more pressure than they saw last night from Wilmington. So there's 2 different types of pressure, and the pressure being applied from the free throw line down to the end line is so much more
intense
than probably East Clinton has seen all year, because sometimes the person on the ball is putting pressure on the taking the vision away, and sometimes he's not, and you got to adapt, or you see a score, a 20-point scoring, and the difference right now is the press causing a lot of turmoil up there in the first quarter of the quarter.
I would say that, and the offensive rebounds, the putbacks, not once, not twice, 3-4 times, and once again it comes from their speed.
There were certain possessions where it looked like, okay, when we finally score, then we'll go down the other end. But they jump right back in the press on you. If you're not making shots and you can get the rebounds, then you don't really have to worry about the press. But if you're making them and they can jump right back in the press, then it becomes an issue.
Right. Well, we'll see how this second half of action plays out. Astros have a slight mountain to climb here.
So, and I think the best player so far, as far as the East Clinton's having trouble with, is Floyd Scott. He has just been...
Seems like he's been everywhere.
It's almost like he has, 2 or 3 of them out there. He'll get it off the backboard and put it up on the other side. Next thing you know, he's rebounding it there and sticking it back. So, really nice player.
East Clinton's going to have the ball here to start the second half of play.
but the production of Floyd Scott's been held back because of the 3 fouls, and and that could be because he is so relentless and stuff that that's the way it goes.
All right.
Floyd with the ball, being trapped there, swings it over to Jenkins. Floyd with the ball, trying to penetrate, kicked off there by Seeley, or by Scott. So Scott with 3 fouls is guarding the best offensive player for East Clinton, that being Wyatt Floyd. Floyd penetrates down the lane, off glass, and good.
Good start for the Astros.
42-24, 7:26 to go here in the third quarter of action. Cooks with the ball, hands it off to Puller. They're doing that dribble weave, trying to get in, and pressure being applied there by Mitchell and J.T. McCarron. So here's a penetrating move down the middle, and it wasn't really a shot, but I don't know if it was really a pass. Just lost control of the ball, and Floyd Scott picked it up for 9 points. J.T. McCarron, East Clinton pushes it down and gets a nice easy layup. McCarron with 8 points tonight, and Floyd with 10. Here's Cook penetrating, kicks it back out to Puller. Puller with the ball. Jenkins applying the pressure. Cook, forced baseline, kicks it back out on top to Scott. Scott for a long 2. Must have had a foot on the line, but he knocks it down.
It was a good shot no matter what.
Jenkins with the ball. J.T. McCarron going to be called
travel
for a travel. So 6:24 to go. Steve Pittman with some encouragement for his players.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I think so.
That sounds like a coach saying that.
So 46-26, 6:19 to go. It's always nice when coaches give you encouragement during the course of the game.
Absolutely.
Penetrating move off the left elbow there. Shots up, no good. Another offensive rebound. Another shot knocked down by Puller from the right corner, 3-pointer. So 49-26. Coach Pittman getting on his team pretty good to bring up. Here's Floyd to McCarron.
Good play.
Nice job there by McCarron. Coach Pittman's telling him to push the ball up and down the court. Puller loses handle of it. Nice pass off to Scott. Off glass, no good. And they ended up trying to make an extra pass instead of going back up, and it's going to be out of bounds. Going to the East Clinton Astros. So back to the man-to-man.
And that relentless press.
So switching there. Mitchell gets the ball. Kicks ahead to Floyd. Floyd penetrates, fakes the pass to
nice
McCarron. Up off glass, no good. Coming down with a rebound with Seeley. Kicks it over to Cooks. Garrett penetrates off glass, no good. Another offensive rebound by Scott.
Those rebounds are killing the Astros.
Trying to kick it ahead and throw it a little too far ahead.
He's had 3 offensive rebounds.
There's Tony saying they've had 3 offensive rebounds already. That's, I'm sure, what he was hammering at during the break.
So 5:04 to go. Ball's on the left side. Nice penetrate. Kick it over to Seeley. Shots up and no good. Rebound down to Floyd. People yelling Wolf. Got people coming up behind you. McCarron with a nice tip in there by J.T. McCarron. McCarron now hitting the 12-point mark. Garrett with the ball. Swings it over to Puller. Puller penetrates. Throws up a prayer, not answered, but he gets his own rebound. Here's a long
three-pointer
by Seeley, and it's good.
Pretty shot.
You'd rather be seeing him make layups. Connor finally gets it in to Floyd, over to McCarron, off glass. So East Clinton.
They're trading baskets.
But maybe threes for twos. And here's a nice spin move there by Cooks off the glass. And it's going to be a timeout there by
Ponitz
taking the timeout. Imagine they're going to discuss their press coverage.
Well, it certainly hasn't paid off for them in this second half so far as it did in the first. But, this Ponitz team, it's almost as though they don't worry about whether it's a good shot or not because they're rebounding so well. And East Clinton isn't boxing them out. So it's like, if we make a bad shot and we miss, we're still going to get the ball anyway. 56-32, still here in the third quarter of play. The Golden Panthers over the Astros in game 1 of 3 games. And both the Wayne Warriors and the Cleveland Heights basketball teams are here. Astros going to bring
we're not going to have no delay on the second game.
No, I don't see any delay.
Floyd with the ball out in front of us. Kicks it over to Connor. Nice pass there. Laces it through. Shots up but good by J.T. McCarron. And he'll be going the line to go for the old-fashioned 3 here at the 3:53 mark. A great pass there by Cameron Connor. Catches the ball in the middle and did more of a pass fake and then laced it right down the middle of the court to McCarron. Catches it and sticks it back in. Second is free throws up and no good. Makes it a 56-34. Checking in is Matt Mitchell for the Astros. Checking in for his brother, Zach Mitchell.
That free throw was good.
So 56-35. Cooks with the ball. McCarron. Here's a drive, kickoff.
Nice pass.
Boy, Floyd Scott.
He's killing them.
Well, they're taking everybody away, and you can't get any help. Here's a steal there by Cooks. He's got the ball in the middle. Nice pass over to Pooler, and he converts it into another layup, 60-35. Connor with the ball. Penetrates, pulls it up, a half court, gets it off to Mitchell, and he's going to be fouled on the play from behind by Pooler.
The minute the Astros look like they're maybe getting it in gear, then Ponitz comes back and makes a steal, goes down, makes an easy basket, puts an easy basket up for a second rebound. Kind of frustrating.
Yeah. Ball's into J.T. McCarron, back over to Connor Mitchell right at the top of the key. Inside to Floyd, pump fakes, no good, shot partially blocked. Ponitz pushing the ball down the court. Sealy swings it over to Garrett. Garrett for a long three.
Got it.
And nothing but the bottom of the net there. 2:56 to go. I tell you, they have just shot the lights out of it here in the third quarter of action. Floyd loses the ball, gets it up off glass, and good. Cooks with the ball, penetrates. McCarron's going to be called for a body foul. And going to the line will be DeEdger Cooks. He's a senior. Basically runs the offense for this team. 63, now 64-37, 2:35 to go here in the third quarter of action. And here comes the big boy. I think he eats the same places as Nick Wiggett and I eat at. He's pretty big.
Yep.
Connor gets it in. Ponitz not pressuring as far as denying, but they are pulled it off. Here's J.T. McCarron. Shots up off glass. Bailey trying to body up with him, but McCarron able to go up through him. So it's 65-39. Long-range three. Gee whiz, Scott. He's starting to light it up here in the second half. He now has a total of 18. Jenkins with the ball, surveying the surroundings here, gets it off to McCarron. McCarron penetrates, gets past Bailey, shots up and good. There by J.T. McCarron. And he's got a lot more quickness against Bailey away from the rim and is able to take advantage of it. So JT with 19. He'd be going for number 20. He'd be the high scorer in this game. So McCarran misses his free throw. Stays at 68-41. Cooks with the ball. Left-hand dribble between the legs. Floyd staying down. And here's a handoff to Garrett. Garrett cut off there by Mitchell. Backs it out. Throws up a shot off the front of the rim. No good. Rebound down to Seeley. Off to Bailey. Back to Seeley. Off glass. And he is fouled by Connor. And he's going to be going to the line for the old-fashioned three. But, man, I tell you right now, those hurt. Really hurt. That tailbone action is not good. I got a little bit more cushion than I did in 76, so it probably wouldn't be as bad. But the age shows. So 70-41. He sights it, shoots it, and then shots up and good. There by Seeley. Seeley now with 18. Him and Scott both with 18. Connor pulls it out. Nice kick back to Floyd. Misses it. Another rebound by Scott. Kicks it ahead to Cook. Cooks pulls it back out between the legs. Nice spin move up off front of the rim. No good. Rebound down again. And either they're going to call a jump ball or they can call it against a foul. They can maybe split the foul between a third.
Right.
I didn't see who they called that foul on.
I didn't either. Each team has 3 fouls. Did we get who that was on?
Floyd Scott.
That is
It's
third?
just been a monster underneath there, and now Cooks, and here he is with another offensive rebound and a stick back. I'll tell you one thing, he must not be able to be boxed out. Floyd pulls it up, gets it off to JT. JT taking it to the rack and counting, and the Astros are going to call a timeout here with inside the 1 minute mark, down 74-43. So Tony's going to look at the film of this game, and it's all going to boil down to quarter press and offensive rebounding. And
yeah, those are the two glaring.
and then that's, for the first 3 quarters and stuff. But here's the other thing is that now they're hitting threes. So you thought, okay, right, I'll take away the inside game. I'll pack some more people in there. And now they're just sitting back out there just bam, bam, bam. And now you say, what are you going to do? When a team's hitting from the 3-point and offensive rebounding, it can be a long night. So we're inside the 1 minute mark. Pointz with the ball. That was nice travel. Okay.
Didn't call it.
No. Cooks with the ball. Left-hand dribble. Being guarded there. McCarran kicks back out on top. Penetrating there by Simmons. Kicks it off to Seeley.
Yeah. Even when they make mistakes, they still get the ball.
Here's a steal. Garrett trying to penetrate. I'd say he lost control of the ball. He didn't even have the ball, but I imagine he's going to be going to the line to shoot 2. So going to the line will be Jalen Garrett. He's a senior guard, and he's one of the ones that has created a ton of havoc today. And Dylan Michael will be checking in, and checking out will be Zach Mitchell. And I imagine they're going to discuss with him about do not pick up the basketball right across the half-court line up against the sideline.
Yep.
I think you're going to call Floyd for his third foul. He was trying to box out and kind of latched onto him temporarily. Ball's out to Kendall Simmons, kicks it down to Cooks in the left corner, penetrates, cut off there by McCarron. Bailey with the ball, swings it across to the right side, back over to the left top. Between the circles, between the legs, heads left to Bailey, jumps over an Astro.
He's fouled.
And the basket is good.
What about the charge before that?
Yeah.
And he's going to be going to the line to see if he can convert the old-fashioned three.
Did it look like charging to you?
Well, we can always take a survey.
Right.
So
anyone behind us, I already know the answer.
Yeah. Bailey with a steal. And that's not going to be any good. That shot was after the buzzer, so at the end of three, Dayton Ponitz 79, East Clinton Astros 43.
They've been impressive.
Yeah, to say the least. I was scared. They had trouble getting here, and then they thought they were supposed to play at East Clinton, so they drove all the way to East Clinton High School.
Then had to turn around and come
back.
And then
they had to come back here, so the game was late starting. And I said, they'll come in all geared up, and they definitely have.
And this same Golden Panther team, as we said earlier, they're going to be playing the Wilmington Hurricanes, so I'm sure that...
that should be an interesting matchup.
That's right, yeah. Wilmington will have to be on the top of their game, so I'm sure that...
well, the first thing I'd be working on is the ball in. First thing is getting the dang ball in. The second thing is you better do box-out drills like all day before you play them, because they all fly to the basket. I'll tell you, between Seeley and Scott and Cooks, those three go at the offensive boards.
Golden Panther, they get the ball.
So Cooks with the ball between the legs, being guarded there by McCarron.
He leaned into him.
I think it was a 5-second call.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Okay. So Floyd with the ball gets across the timeline here between the circles, swings it over left wing, double teamed, and he's going to be called for traveling.
Got to stay out of those corners.
Well, so much you get on your kids all the time, Rick, about ball up here. How many dribbles have you seen start out up here? You got to put the thing down on your hip. You got to get in them or step back off of them. And you can see Coach Belen over there illustrating the proper way to catch the ball. Steal there by Olds, hands it off to Mitchell. Mitchell picks it back up, gets it over to Floyd. Floyd penetrates down the middle, running one-handed, no good. McCarron fighting for the rebound, comes out to Dayton Ponitz. Pushing the ball down is Puller. Puller over to Cooks. Ooh!
Charge.
Well, there's going to be a foul, but Cooks' foot came down on Mitchell. Full force. Gee whiz. That
looks like he's in a little pain.
Yeah, I would think so. So he's going to check out of the game here.
Astros with the ball.
So Floyd gets a pass in from Dylan Michael. Gets over to, here's a long three by the freshman Mitchell, and it's short.
Back down the floor.
Here's a rebound by Seeley. inside they're fighting Dylan Michael, and Dylan looks like he's maybe 5'7", 5'8" at the most. Checking back in after Zach Mitchell for Matt Mitchell.
That's the law firm of Mitchell and Mitchell.
Yes. That number 5 spot has been basically them rotating back and forth. A couple of shots put up that time by Seeley. Neither one was converted. And the ball is going to go back to the Astros here. Gets it into Floyd. 2-2-1 right now. Steal there by Cooks. Cooks picks the ball up. Steal by Floyd. Going up. Rejected there. Recovers it. Back to Floyd. Nice passing. And Floyd gets a bucket out of the play here. 6:25 to go. Puller pulls up for a 3-foot jumper, and it's good.
Stolen.
Malik Puller, ball stolen by Garrett, penetrates.
Foul.
Foul on the play by Mitchell. But I'll tell you one thing, Zach Mitchell has some springs. I mean, he got up there.
Looks like Dylan Bogart.
Yeah.
.6:15, 81-45, 82-45.
Jalen Garrett, nice player. I'll tell you, some of these guys, if they wanted to, they probably could go to, maybe a Division III, Division II, maybe small Division II.
83-45.
So Michael with the ball. Back out of the top. Mitchell looking, gets it into Floyd. Floyd looking ahead, gets away from that corner, and drives around to the other corner, pulls it up. And his ball is taken away. Garrett with the ball, the line to lane. Count it, and he's fouled from behind by Olds. Jacob Olds with a foul. Sometimes you're just better off just to
let him
go.
40-point Golden Panther lead with 5:56 remaining in the game. Been a clinic, that's for sure.
Floyd with the ball. Surveying, gets across half court. Pulls it up. Pressure being applied. I guess my point is you're up by 40 points. 41.
Call the dogs off.
Get your buns inside the three-point line and play normal.
Right. Yeah, we got 5:50 remaining.
This stuff all comes back to haunt you one day.
When you're not as talented.
Right. JT with the ball, swings over to Mitchell. Floyd with a long three. It's going to be off on the left side. Rebound down to Seeley. Seeley rips it out of there, gets it ahead to Simmons. Simmons down to Garrett for a long three. He must felt like running. Ball is being fought for. Cooks comes away with the ball. Swings it across to Seeley. Seeley with a fake, kicks it back out to Garrett on top. Penetrates down the middle. Left-hand pass out to Scott. No good. Seeley with the rebound and stick back. I tell you, if it's not 11 or 15 getting the offensive rebound, then every now and then they let two come in there and get it. Here's another steal. Cooks with the ball. Kicks it across. Garrett going to call for traveling. Started running after he had the ball and didn't put it down. 88-45. 4:52 to go. There must be a point spread on this game because they're still in a press.
Need to check the line in Las Vegas. No good.
He was fouled on the floor before the shot. So Floyd will be inbounding for the Astros underneath their own basket here at the 4:43 mark. Floyd kicks it over to McCarron. McCarron with a dribble. Sealy knocks it out of bounds. It's going to be Astro ball in the corner there. One of the great places to take out a basketball.
Oh, love it, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
Especially with this team.
That, and they down on the end line. Here's another steal. Cooks kicks it ahead to Garrett. Garrett up off the glass, and good to make it 90 to 45. Floyd with the ball. Pressure still being applied. They must have a goal set to get to 100 or something.
It's the end of the month. It's like writing the tickets, right?
Floyd with the ball, dribbling around. You know, sometimes referees can have a way of
controlling that?
Yeah. You start calling some fouls, and they finally catch the hint. Zach Mitchell checking in the game. Floyd going to the line. He has 14, and now he has 15. Make it 90 to 46. We're here at the Wilmington Middle School calling this game for Campus Nation. Second shot's up and good by Floyd. 4:15 to go here, 90 to 47. McCarron applying pressure. Cooks gets in the middle. Long three, no good. That's an offense. That's a rebounding foul by Simmons going over the back of Dylan Michael there.
So that is.
So we're going to walk down here, and we're going to do a little one-on-one action. So the Mitchell brothers switching up for each other again. Shots up and no good. Rebound down to Simmons. Gets across half court between the circles. Here's a penetrating move. Nice carry.
Carried the ball.
Yep.
So Astros will have the ball. 3:57 remaining in this ball game.
90 to 47. Mitchell with the ball. Try to keep the ball centered up and not in a corner. Nice hustle there by Garrett, and Floyd kind of fencing him off there. Be inbounding the ball, trying to go 90 feet, and nice ball fake. Not the place, young man. Good job. Floyd, oh,
what a shot.
What a shot. Reverse layup off the left side. And he'll be shooting for number 50. 3:38 to go here in the fourth quarter of action.
Good.
Shots up and good, and it's 90 to 50. Floyd has 19, McCarron with 23. Both of them having big back-to-back nights, but they needed a lot more assistance tonight against this team. Floyd pushing the ball across half court. Inside to McCarron. McCarron gets him up in the air, goes through it. Nice move there by JT.
2 shots there.
I'll tell you, when you're playing bigger kids or kids that can jump and quick jumpers, best thing to do is do a shot fake and then get up through their body. You teach them, to go right up through their chin area and draw that foul. And JT McCarron doing a nice job. And first shot's up and good. JT with 24 tonight. And, think about it, JT could consistently do this every night. He's very hard to guard away from the basket. He's got some nice moves. He's improving as the season progresses. And you can just usually count for Floyd for 20. So now JT with 25.
He's had a nice evening.
Yes, he has. He's a talented junior. And he's getting rewarded for all the work he put in. Here's a long three, no good. Mitchell with the ball. Wow! He just exploded.
He left everybody.
Yeah, and he showed his jumping ability as well. Getting his first basket tonight. I'll tell you, East Clinton kids are still playing hard.
They're battling.
Whoa.
Throw it away. East Clinton going to have the ball again. 2:43 remaining in the game. 92-54. Golden Panthers lead the Astros.
Finally, they're doing some checking in of
subs.
Cardier, Love. Nice pass there. Nice pump fake. Good there by McCarron.
Good move.
McCarron now with 27. 2:30 go. Cooks with the ball. Starting point guard has the ball. McCarron and him going at it. Shots up, no good. Michael with the ball. JT's like, give it to me. I'll get it off glass. No good. Rebound down to Sealy. Sealy kicks it to Cook to Garrett. Garrett pushing it down the left side. And there goes Mr. Floyd Scott up for the first shot was missed, got his own rebound and stuck it back in. 94-56. Floyd with the ball. He weaves his way through traffic, off glass and good. So now he has 21. Balls to Garrett. Jalen Garrett being pressured. Throws up a prayer, around the rim a couple times and goes in. 1:31 to mark to go. Floyd with the ball. Nice bounce pass to McCarron. McCarron going in off glass and good. He's taking it right at him. He's playing with a lot of confidence tonight.
Both teams just trading baskets now.
Yep. I think he would like to hold him off of 100, but here's a penetrating move by Cooks, and that makes it 98. We're inside the 1 minute mark, 98-60. Floyd gets the ball inbound to him from Mitchell. Pressure being applied, 98-60. Double teamed at the middle. Here's Floyd going off glass.
Oh, what a shot.
Weaving through traffic. And here comes Cooks, and he's going to throw up, and we got number 100. 162 with 40 seconds to go. And now we're going to clear the bench.
Substitutions. So they were just waiting to hit 100, I guess. Century mark, and then we start to substitute.
Okay. 162, and then we're going to put some subs in. Up 38. You know, everybody runs a program just a little bit different.
Well, you know, the Astros certainly don't. 62 points against this team is still impressive. They don't have any reason to hang their head.
22.
You're listening to boys high school basketball right here on CampusNation.com, the sports animal. Game 1 of 3 from Fred Summers Court, the middle school gym right here on the campus of Wilmington High School.
The big three have checked out: Floyd Scott, Eric Sealy Jr., and Edgar Cooks. Scott and Sealy with 22 each, and Cooks with 13. And pressure still being applied.
Right. Well, you got 37 seconds, Jeff.
East Clinton trying to get the ball across midcourt. They do. Nice little bounce pass. Fouled from behind was Trenton Shoemaker, a sophomore. I tell you, there's a kid that's improved. I watched him last night in the reserve contest, and if he puts the work in this summer, you know, he can be a contributor to the program next year. First shot's up, no good. McCarron checking out with 29 points.
Great game.
Great evening for him. Floyd's already checked out with 23.
Well, that basket was good. 100-63. Golden Panthers over the Astros. 20 seconds remaining in the game.
Garrett trying to pound the ball in. Kicks it back over. Here's a long three. It's going to be off the front rim. Down Jaron Evans with the rebound. Inside 6 seconds. Nice back cut there by Pointz. Pointz takes it up, pump fake off glass, and good. And that's the way the game will end. 100-65. That's the end of the first contest with the East Clinton Astros losing to Dayton Pointz by the score of 100-65. The Golden Panthers will improve to 12-5, and East Clinton will drop to 3-10. So, second game will be starting here in about 20-some minutes.
So we've got the Warriors of Wayne as they come out to warm up for their match against Cleveland Heights, the Tigers. Wayne currently 12-5, and the Tigers are 9-5. Wayne will be the home team tonight, and Cleveland Heights will be the away team. Wayne currently, I think they're third in the G-Walk. Springfield, a surprising team, is leading the division there in that part of the G-Walk, and Wilmington has their hands full with this Pointz team later, but they also have to play that Springfield team later too. So I mean, Wilmington has got a chock full of loaded up big teams to play this season.
Well, when North and South combined, if you thought that Springfield would not be a power at the bottom line,
right,
then you probably need to go see the psychologist.
Well, you know, of course, when I was in high school at Beaver Creek, it was the Western Ohio League.
Right.
And then Springfield North was in that Western Ohio League. South wasn't. They were in a different league. Then they joined the Western Ohio League, or maybe when it actually became the G-Walk is when they joined. But now combining the schools, which I think was probably a cost-saving measure, as well as the fact that maybe declining enrollment, so it made sense to build a high school and combine the teams. But all that talent in Springfield coming out of one school.
Well, I tell you one thing, Randy Ayers was pretty good at Springfield North.
Yeah, he did a good job, didn't he?
Yeah. And Springfield South, they had a great baseball player back in '76. Tim. Yes, please. Tim Glass.
So we got the starters coming for the Wayne Warriors.
And Wesenberg. Thank you very much. No, there's a name here on there that are pretty familiar with me from Wayne. Haven't seen the kid play, but I'm interested to see if he's got the talent of his uncle, and that'd be Ray James. Ray James' uncle is Roland James from Jamestown, Greenview. Played a little football at New England for 11 years, so he went to Xenia for 3 years, and then he converted his senior year to Dayton Wayne. But I'm interested to see. I know he had a pretty good football season, and
well, obviously, me being from Beaver Creek and going to school there, we're familiar with the Warriors.
You know the thing about it, what year did you graduate?
1971.
Oh, you're a lot older than me.
Well, of course, you're just a young pup.
Back when 1971,
No,
I'm going to give you
I walked 5 miles to
Ashworth.
school from, you know.
No, I'm going to give you some Ashworth.
Doug Ashworth.
Yeah,
Mark Smythe.
Mark.
Yeah, and of course Ashworth was his father was the coach.
Right.
And in fact, my junior and senior years at Beaver Creek, we only lost one game each year, and then one game in the Dayton district, and in both cases it was to Dayton Dunbar.
Yeah.
And there was a melee that first Dayton Dunbar game.
Thank you. Getting the correction on the roster here, and then some of the names were scratched and moved around from different numbers. But Cleveland Heights looks like they're pretty large as well.
Yes.
So this should be an exciting game as well.
I like their color combination. They're very bright.
Got the bumblebee look.
That's right. You're right.
That's what Nick Wiggin will be wearing this summer up here for the Dragon games. You know, he'll bring some wild stuff out.
Is that the famous DJ Nick that we're talking about?
I see him out there on the field all the time, just raising all kinds of heck.
Well, he'd be styling. I think I need to pan around here and catch him here. There we go. Say hi. There you say. There you go. Doing the tunes for us here at the play-by-play. Coming to you live from Wilmington, Ohio, Fred Summers Court. Jeff Craycraft with Rick Phillips bringing you all the action. Getting ready for game 2. We're about 15 minutes away.
Usually you can tell what a team is emphasizing.
By the way they warm up?
Yep. And this is going to be more of this dribble and kick and take it to the rack and or shooting the threes. And, Travis Trice has been the coach here at Wayne for a while, and they're going to be talented. And did his son leave? I think I read something the other day where one of the coaches out of the Dayton area, their son left and went to like a prep school, and I think he will be going to Duke to play point guard.
I've heard of that school.
Yeah.
You're
hearing a lot about him right now with Coach K out. I tell you, they're not real happy down there, and Coach K, like, taking their locker room privileges away, taking their uniforms away. They're not allowed to wear anything with Duke on them. They're a disgrace. So,
they had a
Jeff Capel, assistant coach. It's always nice to sit over as an assistant coach, thinking, man, if I had this talent, I would do this, this, and this, and taking nothing away from Coach K because he's done something right 700 times, but they're struggling since Coach K took off. I think a month with surgery.
Yeah, well, he had to take off.
So
they've got a talented Franklin High School graduate.
Yeah, Luke Kennard, to me, has improved so much. I mean, I thought that he would be one of those role players. They would dribble and kick to for shooting. But I can tell you right now, he's done so much more. He's getting inside. He's coming off of the curl. He understands the game so well. I enjoy watching him. I mean, he has improved so much, and he's just, he's had a great sophomore year.
I see Marty Bogart in the house. Marty, a big sponsor of ours and a fan of Hurricane Sports.
Well, we truly appreciate it.
Yeah, and we'll be obviously bringing that Hurricane game against the Moeller Crusaders. I can only imagine what that game's going to be like.
I tell you, this big boy, he'll be rusty. Big Joe from Kokomo, you can do that game.
Yeah.
He'll be in the house. Was he working?
Yeah, I don't know what he does. I think he's got two. His girls are either practicing, playing, or both.
Huh. I'll tell you, Wayne is. You watch them. They're not imposing as height-wise as Cleveland Heights, but you're talking about some jumpers. I mean, they were going up around the rim to get the rebounds.
Good athletes. Crowd starting to fill in.
Yeah.
As the games progress, you get a bigger and bigger crowd. Obviously, with Wilmington, you've got a home crowd. So the Wilmington fans are starting to come in to catch this second game. And
probably get their seats. I think if they got here, they could get their own seats, couldn't they?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think that although Marty's sitting in his seat, so maybe that does apply. Maybe that's part of the perk of the play-by-play. I had thought that in times past that your paid seats are not applicable to the play-by-play. There's sort of special rules for this. But maybe not. Or maybe that's changed. Maybe there was enough complaining that...
And I think in a lot of these classics, you're allowed to dunk going through warm-ups, but maybe not in this one.
Well, we didn't see that in the first game, and
we're seeing
there were a couple opportunities in the first game for something like that to happen, and they didn't take advantage of it. So the real question is, are they just simply trying? Is this a mental thing that they're trying to do right now? When I was a track runner, because unfortunately I'm just not tall enough to be doing what they do. But when I was a track runner, there was always that psychology, and you always try to do things, to psych your opponent out. Although track basically is just sort of a against yourself type of issue. It's not real. But in basketball, I just wonder sometimes when they warm up like that, if they're looking over at the other team and the other team's doing things to kind of psych you out a little.
I tell you, this had to be what, 3.5, 4 hour drive.
Oh yeah, definitely for Cleveland.
I'm going to take a break here and turn it over to you.
Yeah, they won't be going home tonight, Jeff. I'm sure that they're staying here overnight. Well, anyway, we've got about 9 minutes to go before we start this second game, so we will take a timeout break here, and we will be back. You're listening to CampusNation.com, the sports animal, your home for high school and college sports. Jeff Craycraft, Rick Phillips bringing you all the action from Fred Summers Court on the campus of Wilmington High School.